give us direction from above. We need a word from the Lord, a word from the Lord.
Fast and pray. Single men, if you're having a problem living holy unto the Lord and your flesh is out of control, fast and pray. One of the things that's so unique is that you see the reality program called Survivor. And they take all these beautiful, nice looking people and put them on an island. And many people are very surprised that there is not a lot of sexual relationships going on the island. And they say, and people wonder, why is that not so? Well, it is not so because they are starving. That's your number one need, whether you realize it or not. Some of you think it's sex. No. It's food. And that's the way that you can buffet your body. You have to fast and pray. Fast and pray. He went down there and landed him a woman, went in and spent the night with her. A prostitute. A man of God. Strongest man ever to live. He was supposed to be a representative of God and the people of God. He was supposed to be a deliverer, but now he's wasting his time and his life and his attention on a prostitute. Who? I need to pose a question. How many here? Don't raise your hands. Maybe I need to move on. Move on past that. I will.
Bruce is filming all that.
Yeah. But I'll tell you what the word says about this instance in 1 Corinthians chapter 6, verse 15. Oh, this is a text where they in that city they had the goddess of love there. And one of the ways that people would worship there is they had temple prostitutes. Right. I like to say then, at that day and time, they didn't have a problem with men coming to church.
Well, we get them now.
And out there and time we have a problem. But this is what Paul was addressing. He said, do you not know that your bodies are members of Christ? Shall then I take away the members of Christ and make them members of a prostitute? May it never be. Godly men don't go to prostitutes.
That's right.
Hello?
That's right.
Amen. That's right. Even if the wife ate. You don't have to raise your hand there either. Godly men. We godly men don't do that.
That's right.
We don't do that. No. Somebody's being tempted because you're not getting your needs met. No. It's not what godly men do. Say to your neighbor.
Neighbor.
No. Again, the perils of an unfaithful man. Oh, we watch our eyes, and when we look at a woman, we never land the deal with a woman. That's deep in it. Think about it a little later. But also, you never fall in love. Point number 3. The love of a woman. Now, for most of us, this is all over. But for you single men, do you know it's not a biblical principle to fall in love?
That's right.
Do you know that God doesn't believe in love at first sight? I said, preacher, what are you talking about? Well, let me go ahead and read this. What he said. He talked about he fell in love with a woman whose name is Delilah. Interestingly enough, the text doesn't identify her as a prostitute. The woman before her was a prostitute. But she was a woman that didn't have Samson's livelihood in mind. She doesn't fit the bill of a godly woman, because a godly woman that would love her husband would never, or love her man, would never put him in harm's way. He fell in love. Don't you know that you're a Christian man, and that's why you have to guard your eyes, because you cannot just fall in love with just anybody, because God tells you you have to choose somebody that's of the Christian faith. Do not be unequally yoked together with unbelievers. I know she looks like an angel. Come on. Hello? Ooh, thank you. Help me preach that. The devil was an angel too. Hello? He was the most beautiful angel.
All right.
That's how deceptive the devil is. You see her, and she's in her prime, 20-something. Your wife is in her 50s. You say, ooh, must be an angel. This must be of God. And then you fall in love. No, you don't fall in love as a Christian. Christian men choose to love.
All right.
All right. Well,
that's what Christ did with the church. Don't you know how hard it is for Christ to love the church? The only way you know that if you truly confess your sins.
Yeah.
And then multiply that times all of the church. Think of all the times that you failed God in a day. And God tells us as men that we are to love our wives as Christ loved the church. That's a sacrifice. That is a choice that we make.
All right.
It's a choice that we make. And Christian men don't fall in love. They choose to love. They have to choose the right kind of woman. And those who are married here today, guess what? You have the right kind of woman. You have the right kind of woman. You say, preacher, you don't know my wife. But I tell you, you don't know the church.
Oh, Lord. My Lord.
Well,
ask some of these pastors what it's like to serve the church. Ask some of these deacons what it's like to deal with church folk.
well,
Fell in love. He didn't know what true love was. She was not a woman of character. She sold him out. Young folk will say she wasn't a ride or die chick. She sold him out for money. And in this instance, and you see this happens, especially when you have wealth, when a marriage fails, men, an old saying says it's cheaper to keep her. Because of all that you would lose.
That's right.
Her love was not the portrait of a godly love. In 1 Corinthians 13, it says what? Love is patient. Love is kind. It wasn't kind for her to sell him out. It does not envy. It does not boast. It is not proud. And it is not rude. It was rude of her to find his secret and sell him out. It is not self-seeking. She was seeking out the self. She made money off of him. Hello? And he fell in love. That's one of the most dangerous things that you can do. You ask some men, the greatest mistake, including me, was falling in love. In my younger days, I fell in love. You hear me say, there's nothing I ever fell into turned out to be anything good.
It's closer to falling in heat.
Well,
Another calm on the sea. But what we need is a special word that will burn within our hearts and give us direction from above.